Alright, welcome back everyone to the Osaka World Cup 2023, the round of 16, and we have a banger coming up for you guys. Philippines versus the Russian Federation in the winners bracket. I am Quinten, I am joined by the Dutch commentator and not player this year, obviously probably the reason why they won last week. Sarton, welcome man, great to have you back.
Fair point. Hi.
Sorry I did that to you.
I like you too, buddy.
I couldn't help myself. Nonetheless, it's great to be back here with you again. Third year in a row now, I guess we've been commenting together. So we have Philippines on the one hand, I believe seed 5, Russia seed 12, I think. Yeah. Philippines had a rough showing against Denmark last week, or at least more rough than they probably anticipated, 5-2. Russia had the 5-0 sweep against Colombia, and now they face off in the winners bracket round of 16. Curious to see how these teams are going to be performing. Philippines back with their, stacked roster. Russian Federation losing Nelly, losing Mariola, losing Insomnia, so that's 3 of the best Russian players that have disappeared, but there's some new blood in Tignida. Also, Vafar has improved quite a lot. Kitsunaivi has been one of their main 3 for the past years already. Castlegam coming back, Dark Raymond making his first appearance as well. So a new promising roster for the Russian Federation, and they've won against Colombia quite easily last weekend, so they're already in the winners bracket round of 16. Obviously the underdog in this one.
Yeah, first real match for both teams as well, I do assume. Or at least, what are your thoughts on this? Last week was maybe just a bit of a drill for either team, just trying to get back into CWC, not really having the strongest opponents at that point. Now, they obviously advanced further down into the winners bracket, a bit more serious now. Philippines, Russian Federation. I believe there's going to be a fairly clear bias towards the Philippines winning. If I'm going to look at the Twitch chat, we have 95% of the bits being put onto the Philippines, 5% into Russia. So at least it's not like a 99 to 1% ratio. That's something. But what are the chances here for Russia then? This is their first real opponent, we could say. And does Philippines, will they struggle at least?
Yeah, for certain. The thing is as well, Philippines last week, they did not use Steroido. So Roydo just sit out on every single map until things started getting a little spicy at 2-2. And then Roydo came in, FC'd, left the room and didn't play another map, and they just won 5-2 after that. So Roydo, I mean, we're going to be seeing Roydo play everything today, I do believe. Then together with Bunray and Rusty, they have their main 3, and then Kielzu probably for the double time hard work. I mean, they have a really solid core for every single map. But I think the main difference is going to be seeing Roydo play everything today. On the Russian Federation side, they had a relatively, I wouldn't say easy, but it was a straightforward matchup against Colombia, and they did what they had to do. But I think they really have to line Kitsunaivi and Vafaro, and then Tignida as their third, and to hope for the Philippines to find misses like they did last week. Like Denmark, also, I mean, I think C28 took 2 points of Philippines, which was very unexpected, and there were some weaknesses on the Philippines side. But then again, Roydo not playing is obviously like some kind of setback in comparison to Roydo playing, obviously. So in that sense, I think that's why we're going to be seeing Roydo coming now, and especially in later rounds as well, because, well, he's their best player by far for the Team Philippines. So yeah,
they need it for Russia this time round, right? They really do.
Yeah, especially. Yeah, like it's a type of situation where you could compare it to soccer, where like if you have an easy opponent, you like draft a B team. That type of scenario is what the Philippines did last week. Well, obviously they're B players. I wouldn't call them B players, but they're still really good players. But I mean, they benched Roydo just so he could, I don't know, have a week off and focus more on later rounds. And they got across the finish line relatively easily as well. 5-2, still not into a tiebreak scenario. Then again, we see Russian Federation banning Hidden 2, which is expected. Philippines, as you know, are one of the best hidden teams in the world.
Yeah, one of the other ones that like excels in Hidden 2. We had a couple of teams every so often throughout the years that excelled at Hidden, but most of the time the top players of teams, especially those who end up in the top 50 in the world, top 20, those tend to be really good at Hard Rock and Double Time, or at least if you want to get to that rank, you ought to play those 2 mods, because that's the only way you're going to get as much PP as those people do. So sometimes that actually leads to a deficit in Hidden. Doesn't seem to be the case with Philippines. Just a very solid roster all across. Even the lower ranked players, lower ranked in the sense relative to the other players here. Crowley, for example, still being a really solid Hidden player here as well. So there's plenty of possibilities there within that section of the map pool. So no surprises there for Russia. And then again, Russia really needing to find themselves again. Similar situation as to what happened to the Philippines a couple of years ago, where the team just kind of blanked out a little bit. So the top player is leaving. Not entirely sure what the strongest mod is here, but I do have a feeling that the Philippines is likely going to be strong on pretty much every single mod.
Yeah, definitely. We see them banning Nomad 1, and I've mentioned it before today as well. Banning Nomad 1 is just like a confidence shower. Like, you ban the easiest or relatively easiest map in the pool, and you're like, yo guys, like, we're gonna beat you on skill, right? We're gonna take the difficult maps in the pool, like Double Time 3 being AR 8.6 GT, the highest AR in the entire pool. Those types of maps is what the Philippines wanna excel on, and they want to actually like outskill the Russian players in that sense. So that's why they banned Nomad 1, that's why Italy banned Nomad 1, that's why I believe Poland banned Nomad 1. That's just the Nomad 1 ban strategy in that regard. That's why we see it coming in from Philippines as well. Double Time 3 getting picked by the Philippines, so we're going to go straight to Double Time. The map itself, Air 8.6. The trickiest thing about this is that you overdash quite a lot, so you have to sometimes you can just move most of the patterns, and it feels intuitive to dash, but you really shouldn't. But I assume all of these players are well prepared on this map. Well, we see the expected three on either side: Kitsen Ivy, Tignida, and Vafar for Russia, and then Kielzu, Roido, and Bunray on the Philippine side. And we're already going to start in Double Time 3, first pick of this match.
They'd better be prepared indeed. Here we go. Philippines, Russia. First map of the game. Let's see if Russia has a good shot at beating these Philippine monsters this year.
Interesting to notice Kitsen Ivy not choosing the hidden with his Double Time. Is known as to be a hidden player, plays most of his maps with hidden, but not this one. Probably because of the micro movements that are needed. Could explain it in that regard. We see all players actually getting close to 200 combo, and
there they are.
Yeah, indeed. So no miss to be seen in the beginning sections of this map.
Pretty good. Yeah, your analysis was indeed right. You shouldn't dash too much here. It's a bit of a tricky map in that regard, so not picking hidden does make a lot of sense. I'm not entirely sure whether Kitsen Ivy also likes to play hidden like without Double Time, or whether that's like a reading preference. 8.6 is not too high, but for Bunray, it's gonna mean one little mistake. Mostly used to higher AR, and Russian Federation is gonna be able to take an early lead here.
Yeah, Tignida will be trading actually as soon as you say that though, but what a solid showing from the Russian Federation. Both teams currently at a 1 miss, and it's going to tie things up going into the last turn of this map already, because obviously the Double Time makes it very, very easy in that regard, and no misses to be seen apart from that from Tignida and the Bunray, and that should actually tie things up really nicely. But Tignida going to be finding a drop right there as soon as they hit 200 combo, and it's going to give Philippines a 1 miss advantage right now.
And that's crucial, because you only have about 25 seconds of map left here, and you're going to have to find a miss in the next couple of seconds, a couple of misses on the end of Philippines if you want to see Russia take over, but that's not going to happen with another miss for Wafara. And there's your outro. It's a quick one, 1 minute 40, and Philippines was able to hold on with just a singular miss there for Bunray. Almost perfect, and that's the level of the Philippines that you're going to have to expect this game.
Definitely. I mean, solid showing from the Russian Federation as well. I mean, 0 misses, 2 misses, and 3 misses. That's a really solid team score. But, I mean, you're looking at Kielzu, who's known for his Double Time. You're looking at Roido, who's also known for his Double Time. I mean, well, known for everything, but his Double Time as well is something he excels at. Bunray finding 3 misses consecutively there in the middle section, but not much to work with. And the Russian Federation did pull up a really good fight, but sadly, there in the end, Philippines are going to be taking this Double Time 3 pick, which was their own pick, obviously. Most of the times, teams tend to pick their best map as a first one. There are some strategies to like pick it the second time, because you want to kind of get rid of the nerves on your first pick and then go for your best map in the second pick. But I do assume this is probably one of their best maps for Team Philippines, and they take it home 1-0 scoreline. Rush Federation to pick next. Not too certain where they want to be taking this actually. There's the hidden pool, probably they should stay away from that. The Nomad pool, whatever is left in the Nomad, is relatively tricky. Might be a Nomad 4. Could also look for a Hardrock 1, which is like the Hardrock consistency. Not an easy point to beat. Perhaps even the mixed mod. If you put Vafar on the Hardrock, Tignida on the Nomad, Kitsen Ivy on the hidden, that is a solid mixed mod roster. But obviously the Philippines have their expertise in those mods as well. So not too sure where they want to be taking this.
Mixed mod has been a bit of a saving race for a couple of these lower ranked teams that do have a couple of really good players, like 2 of them per se, enabling them to at least have some showing on Hardrock within these mixed mod pools. And hidden and no mod can be taken off by the somewhat lower ranked players, the ones with a lower skill level in terms of tournament play as well, it tends to be pretty good for teams like Russia, who have a couple of players who are within that, well, close to top 100 at least. That's not the option they're going to go for this time around, though. It's got to be a no-mod pick. It does seem like the safest bets on this map pool. Mixed mod is really only handy for those types of teams if they also practiced it plenty. That is just something that has to show up eventually, and we'll see that if they decide on doing that in a couple next picks. But yeah, as expected, we'll probably see a pattern of Russia mostly picking no mod, maybe opting for the odd mixed mod, and then Philippines just gonna try to crush it on high AR. Just quick reading stuff altogether.
For sure, definitely. Also, the thing about this map is it's mapped by a Russian mapper, so they kind of had like the home advantage in this one. Kim Takari, the Russian captain from last year, mapped this Nomad 2. Might also be like a bit of some home pride there, but then again, Rusty, Roydo, Bunray, all three in the top 15 in a row, I believe, in the solo ranks. Or Roydo might have been like, might have dropped out of the top 50, but then again, they should feel very confident in this one. The map itself, star rating 5.52, AR 9.4. It's very wiggly. That's the rough part about this one. It's easy to mess up on one of the wiggles. Aside from that, it's your regular Nomad 2. Looking to further rounds, we're probably going to be seeing Gemzu maps in this slot. This week, the map looks like this shows you Kari maps, and it fits perfectly well in my opinion. Really nice map to play. Curious to see how the Russian Federation is going to be playing on the, I believe, the only Russian map in this pool. There are no Philippines maps in this pool, because obviously their maps are playing, right? Rusty is a mapper, Bunray's a mapper, Crowley is a mapper. In that 1 year where they didn't play, all of those were actually, my Gems was also Philippines. There's a Gemzu map. My apologies. Yeah. Okay, they still have Gemzu in that.
At least they have Gemzu left.
They have Gemzu, yeah. I completely forgot about Gemzu, but I mean, Rusty, Bunray, Crowley have put out quite a few maps as well in previous editions of the Catch World Cup. So, also known in that regard to Team Philippines, probably one of the best mapping teams in the entire world, even.
For sure, and I am pretty sure they won like the mapping contest per country as well. So this mapping drought better actually work out for the Philippines here. A lot of people have very high expectations of the team. Let's see them pull it off against Russia on Russia's pick. Probably one of the most crucial picks here. First pick, you always want to try win as your team. So losing this, going behind 2-0, that would hurt a lot.
For certain, you want to get out of the gates going, right? Seems like all players are going to be getting to the 200 combo mark, that mythical 200 combo mark, which we've talked about so many times. And obviously the wiggles intensify at this point, but it does not seem that any player is struggling with it. We see a couple accuracy drops on Vafaro and Roydo, which is also to be accepted. Some of these drops are kind of wide, and those sliders feel a little bit awkward to play.
Wafara is actually going to follow that up with a miss. Yeah, Wafara seems to be lagging behind a little in terms of movement. Seems like he's undershooting a couple of these jumps here every so often. Tignada is going to miss right before that break too. That's already a pretty big score deficit, and especially considering the fact that the Philippines can see that as well. They know they have 3 full combos. That's probably going to boost their confidence. Once more, not the lengthiest of maps too. We're already halfway.
Yeah, definitely. It's also a slower section right now, so they can build up that score advantage. So look at that. He's not above 200 combos still, so it's about 60,000, 70,000 points. And yeah, 2 minutes advantage to Team Philippines, and over halfway already. Bunray Facility double S, same for Rusty. Beautiful points coming from Bono and Roydo. So Facility FC only a couple of dropless misses. Nothing that the Team Philippines is giving to Team Russia right now. Bunray actually going to be finding a miss there, and that's a starter, but they need one more miss coming from Team Philippines to tie things up, I do believe.
Yeah, but it's not too much actually. One more miss is very probable, well, not probable, but possible here. You can slip up every so often, and one problem with players like Bunray on these types of maps is the fact that they're like a little too slow for their preferences most of the time. AR 9.4 is not something that these people are too used to anymore after practicing on the highest level for so many years. Kitsune Ivy, however, putting up a little bit of effort here for the Philippines itself, missing as well. No combos left on Russia, as Vafara also seems to miss. Tignida not with a combo there either, and there's already 100k gap.
Yeah, Roydo and Rusty 4-digit combo right now, so it's going strong. Rusty still with the double S, and look at that score difference. It's over 100,000 points. Vafara going to be finding another miss, and that's to seal the deal for Team Philippines in this one. Once again, the same story as Double Time 3. Bunray misses, but the other 2 players probably bringing home the FC in this slow ending section. Tignida missing there. once again, but that did not matter in the end. I mean, Philippines definitely have a really good start at this match, breaking Russian Federation on this Nomad 2 map. And I mean, Roydo 2 for 2, Rusty 1 for 1, Killzo 1 for 1 NFCs, Bunray, the only player on Team Philippines who has missed at this point. So really solid showing from Team Philippines. And I mean, Kitsnai with the 1 miss as well. Solid scores on Team Russia, but once again, they're not giving much to work with at the moment. So not an easy task for the Russian Federation.
Yeah, they just also continue like this, right? They one missing every map should suffice for beating most teams, especially considering the fact that, well, the Philippines is the highest seeded team here as well. So good performance so far. Something that we did expect for Philippines. Many FCs to be seen so far. Bunray may be struggling to get toned down a little bit so far, so maybe they'll be performing a tad bit better on the Hard Rock or Double Time map pool as well. They just have to get comfortable, but really they are comfortable enough so far. Leading 2-0, they took Russia's first pick and their next to pick as well, so the momentum just keeps on going.
For certain. It's also a best of 11 scenario, right? So breaking once or breaking twice and you're already looking down 4 or 5 points. It's over really quickly, and if Philippines keeps steamrolling like this, then this one might be over very soon. So curious to see where Team Philippines wants to take this. I mean, Arthur 3 might also be a really good option. It's a Convert-esque map, which I think favors Team Philippines. And, well, I mean, beautiful map by Rockman as well. So I think the Arthur 3, Arthur 2 might also be an option. Quite a memory-heavy Arthur 2 map. Might also just go for hidden, right? Because the Philippines, I think they have the best hidden scores, and if indeed they are going to go for the hidden one, the Hexagon map, which is still surprising to me, at least, to say Hexagon map, the hidden one of the round of 16, but it's a
that kind of blew up on Twitter, I'm pretty sure. People were quite happy to see that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the map itself is beautiful, and just because it's the name Hexagon as well, it just adds some more of that, right? But the map itself is really nicely mapped. A little bit more lengthy, 3 minutes 45, 5.16 in starting air, 9.8, so it should still be relatively comfortable for most players, those that play hidden often and those that play hidden not so often, given the AR not being too low. Obviously, Russian Federation took out the low AR hidden pick from the pool. Probably not able to draft 3 players on such a niche skill set rather. On Team Philippines, we see Royal, Bunray, Rusty, probably the 3 expected players. Could see Crowley over Rusty, but Crowley is probably more of the lower AR hidden player. And Rusty probably more of the higher AR hidden player, so nothing out of the ordinary here. We see also Gam coming from Vafara. I mean, Vafara is their speed player, their hard turn double time player, could also play Nomad, but definitely not the player you would draft on a hidden pick. So that's also expected. So no surprises here.
No surprises indeed, and it's still a tad bit weird to have a team able to put multiple rosters onto hidden picks as well. Just considering the fact that Crowley does not have to play this because, well, necessarily speaking, Rusty might actually be better than Crowley on anything above AR9 on hidden, so they just kind of get to swap that play in. That is not something you see often in teams. Not often do you see like specific hidden experts, or at least not more than 3 of them on a team, which is a very big strength for the Philippines team, especially like in getting into the later rounds of the tournament. They might very well just steal all those points from the higher ranked teams such as the USA, South Korea. Pretty sure that the roster makes a very good chance of beating those types of teams too.
Definitely. I think the Philippines also had the highest or close to the highest team scores in the qualifiers. I think they got first and second on. I'm not sure which of the hiddens they got first and which of the hiddens they got second on, but overall I think Philippines is top 2 in the qualifier hidden scores as a team. I think the only country that did better might have been the USA, but not too certain. Also there's countries like Chile and probably Canada as well that can draft decent hidden rosters, but Philippines definitely stacked in that regard. But then again, only a round of 16 maps, so should still be relatively comfortable for most teams, especially a team like Russian Federation, still in the upper seeding half, right? Losing players like Mariola and Nelly, still finished seeding 12th, I believe, is a really solid showing on their end as well, and definitely proves that these are just not your average players, right? Kitsnai himself has been playing a lot of community tournaments, very experienced player. Vafar as well has been up and coming. Tikanita probably one of the most promising new players, because keep in mind this is only his first CWC and still really solid shooters already from the side. So,
yeah, they seem tournament hardened for sure. They seem very ready to take on teams such as this. They, well, looking very stoic so far. And Rusty is actually going to provide Russia a bit of a gap here. First miss there for the hidden pick. See if they can take advantage of that. So far, full combos in the end of Russia. Looking pretty good.
Yeah, solid showing from Team Russia. Kosogam just coming in and seeing the first turn of this map. Really solid performance. Kitsinavi is known for his hidden. Tignina apparently also a really solid showing on the hidden. And the thing is as well, they banned hidden too, and they're triple seeing hidden 1. That's kind of a power move as well in itself. So really solid showing from Team Russia right now.
Yeah, but they're going to have to put up with that performance for the entirety of the map too. So far, Roydo and Bunray don't seem to plan on giving an inch either. Full combos in their end too. So it's still very tight here. 2 misses on the end of Russia. It's got to just blow over the lead immediately back to the Philippine side. So you must be wary here of anything. All those droplets, all those weird Excon-esque notes. And there you have it. A miss for Kosselgam is going to level the field.
Yeah, right before the slow section as well. It was a clean miss, though. Only a miss, no droplets miss. Brother has a droplet miss. Russia also has a droplet miss. So it should still be a very, very tiny advantage for Team Russia. Team Nida and Kitsune still hold on to the double S. And like 4 players approaching the 1000 combo mark, and then Nerf starts getting kicked in as well. Seeing 4 digits above your catcher as well. The ending section is a little bit harder than the streams in the beginning section, so we might see some misses there as well. But the Russian Federation is keeping up with Team Philippines right now, and it's actually completely tied at this point, going to the last quarter of this hidden 1 pick from the XCOM mapper. That is
the legend, but an uncharacteristic miss there for Kitsune Ivy, but it's going to be traded by Bunray. Ooh, what is going to happen to the score now? Will Russia still be leading?
Things as well, it's now Tignina versus Royal with the FCs, the new player and the old season veteran, both of them. And actually the new player Tignina is going to be fighting that miss, and Royal is not going to be trading it. Rusty also recovering quite nicely off that initial slip up. Same with Cossack actually. As soon as I say that, it's going to be fighting another miss as well. The Russian Federation completely falling apart in this ending section right here. And by the way, Royal and Rusty, they are not giving anything on this. Really, this streaming section is really hard as well. Keep that in mind. Getting into the very fast last section of this map, we're going to be trading a miss with Kosogam, but the damage has been done by Team Philippines. Kitsune going to be finding 2 more drops here at the end, but Rusty really solid recovery. Same with Bunray. Roydo also, I mean, it's 3 singular misses on Team Philippines again. Look at that, 3 singular misses on Team Philippines. Roydo just shy from 1 million. Oh, yeah, 1 million score. Bunray the same. What a solid showing from Team Philippines. And I mean, the Russian Federation also singular miss on Tignina, 5 misses Kitsune, 9 on Kosogam. It's a really solid team score once again, but yeah, there's not much you can do at this point. They kept on, they were up to par for majority of that map, but the ending stream section caught all 3 of them off guard, sadly, and that's the difference maker between a 2-1 and a 3-0 scoreline there.
Yeah, just a high skill ceiling there for Philippines towards the end. That became clear for sure. But the scoreline definitely didn't show how close that was. Philippines really running away right at the end. Could have gone the other way around, really, but those last sections you always have on the hidden maps when you're already more than 1,000 notes deep into the match, into the map, I should say, they become really stressful. So tournament hardened veterans will have an easier time on that. And we were just complimenting Russia on being pretty good on that, in that regard too. Seems that the Philippines might be just a little tad bit better though. Then again, it's hidden. It's Philippines forte for sure. And I believe there was only about 80,000 points of difference. So really not that bad for Russia once more.
Not at all. And in comparison to, I mean, both of these teams had somewhat of a rough showing last week on the round of 32. And both of these teams have definitely upped their game. Philippines, way more FCs on there and way more score in general on similar maps like the close to 3 million on all of these stream picks by now. The Russian Federation, same for them. They had a lot of misses against Colombia, but Colombia was not able to punish them on these. The Philippines is able to punish them on the misses, but Russia is missing way less. And we are going to see that hard work one coming in, that consistency hard work map by Dave. And these teams are taking a look at the length is picks in the pool left, right. The hidden one was 3 minutes 45. This hardcore was 3 minutes 25. Quite lengthy picks coming in, so consistency based picking on both ends. And we are going to be seeing Fafara coming in once again for the hard. Nina Kitsunive staying in. And then Ward up, but we probably killed Marin. I was a little late. I saw Marin before I said that. I admitted, but Marin, go for the hidden hard trick. Kagamine Rin, name change this year, but only plays in Rocket. Their entire top player playlist is in hard trick FCs on various PT maps, so definitely expected to see them here as well.
Yeah, finally, first time they're picking this match, and then again, it shows that the Philippines has improved a lot for them to be able to bench Marin for about 3 maps in a row, only then having to pick them. Because in general, Marin is a hidden hard rock expert, but if their team were a lot weaker, they would probably have to fill for the other maps as well, just because of their sheer skill level. Not necessary on the Philippines anymore. Really solid team this year, and it's great to see teams revive themselves after just having really bad years. There's been a couple of really tough years for the Philippines. This is looking like the best team so far in CWC history, probably.
Definitely. They had, 2 years ago, they finished 5th, which was their best showing yet, with the exact same team. Then last year, all of them decided to not sign up, so they didn't qualify with their new team. And this year, all of them signed up again. It's like a complete reset, and it's really great to see. This is the first time this Philippine roster is playing with qualifiers. They didn't have that 2 years ago, obviously still group stages back then, so it's kind of different in that regard for them as well, but it seems like it's been working for them. Qualifying 5th, very solid showing. I mean, amongst teams like Chile, Canada, Italy, I mean, that's a really solid showing to qualify as well, and it's been going well, going 5-2 against Denmark and now 3-0 up against the Russian Federation, so definitely not a bad start for this Philippine roster for the 2023 CWC.
Very happy to see that as well. So, hard rock, first time. Actually, Rush just picked something that I did not initially expect them to go for. So, at least they have 3 people confident enough of playing hard rock. Maybe they've just practiced it a lot. Maybe they just wanted to swap a couple people from the Philippines roster just to get somebody who might not be quite as warmed up into the lobby, such as Marin in this case. But either way, we are not entirely sure whether any strategy is going to work on that end. Russia is actually going to be the first to find a miss there for Kitsu and Ivy. Philippines still not giving an inch.
Yeah, also the accuracies on Fafara and Kikita are relatively low. Fafara under 99% right now, with quite a few droplets. And I mean, one droplet is not going to be a difference maker, but with the new Score V2 changes, many droplets are going to be a difference maker, right? We used to be able to outspin droplet miss, but that's not the case anymore. So score an accuracy below 99% is definitely going to hurt your score quite a little bit. If you compare Fafara to Kikita, he's running behind like about 10,000 points at this point, so definitely a difference maker in that regard as well. We see accuracy drops on Marin, Gunray, and Nordo as well, but they're the accuracy drops are lower in comparison to the Russian Federation players, but obviously if they just keep on FCing, it doesn't matter given the miss from Kids and Ivy, but the accuracy might be something to account for if the Philippines were to find on the list. We're already halfway into this hard one, and still 5 SCs on the board right now.
It's a welcome change to see those droplets finally being added into the accuracy, and I mean the score relevance too, but then we see 2 misses for Bunray and Tignita. They are going to trade out there, so Philippines is going to lead just as much as they did before. But Bunray missed their first, and I got a little excited there. Sadly, for Russia at least, no difference yet.
Yeah, Fafara, the last man standing on the Russian team, still holding on to the FC, but looking at Marin and Warrior, that is. But Marin's going to be finding a miss actually, and that's 2 for 2, right? 2 players miss on each side, and that should tie things up. And now the accuracy becomes important. Fafara is still not above 99% right now with the accuracy, and all 3 Philippine players are above 99%, so that's a difference maker right now in score, I do believe. The accuracy, which is unexpected in a catch environment, but given the new change, that is something we have to account for now. And last quarter left, they can see the difference is only 2,000 points, and that's off accuracy alone, I do believe.
So who has harder of steel? Okay, it's seemingly not going to be Russia. I was just wondering who got better nerves there. Tignita and Wafara both just missed the notes as well, and immediately you see that red bar growing towards Philippines, and that just might do it. Really, Philippines will have to completely fail here. Just all 3 of them would have to miss for Russia to make any shot at coming back. Doesn't seem to happen.
Yeah, definitely. All players above 200 combo right now. Russia's still building. Nikita finding another miss, and that's gonna, seal the deal for Team Philippines. They just run out of time to the Russian Federation, and Roido, another FC actually. I think Roido has not missed in this match, and this is the Roido we know, right? This is the Roido we expected in round of 32, but didn't show up, and he did show up today, and 2.96 million as a team with Team Philippines. 2 misses on Bunray, 1 miss on Marway. That's just a really solid team score once again. Yeah. I mean, Kitsun, Ivy, Vafaro are up to par with Bunray and Marin. Tikanita trailing behind just a little bit, but still, I mean, it's a 4-0 scoreline, but the Russian Federation, against the majority of the teams we've seen this weekend, they would have taken at least 2 points by now. So, really solid showing from Team Russia. But the Philippines, they woke up and chose finals today. What a very solid performance today. Wow.
Yeah, you're very correct. Roido is absolutely ready to play a little here. Only 1 miss so far throughout the match. He did miss a single note on that Hexagon hidden map, but then again, that was one of the harder maps. It was one of the hardest endings of the entire map pool. So, fair play still.
You were right, yeah.
How dare they miss
hit one? Yeah. An abomination of a performance, really. Imagine missing around a 16 map pool.
Disgusting. They're gonna have to do better, or maybe not. Philippines is also the next team to pick here once more, leaning for. They might just be able to drive it home quite easily going forward. What should Russia do now, Quinton? What do you believe?
Yeah,
or should I call you El Skeffer by now? Actually,
actually, I did, but well, we've seen double time, didn't work. We've seen hard, didn't work. We've seen hidden, didn't work, and we've seen no mod, didn't work. Walker remains mixed mod. Obviously, mixed mod is a little bit more forgiving for the lower seeded teams, and I think that should be what they should aim for. But obviously, Philippines picked first are probably going to look like for a hidden 3 or a hard 3, I would assume. Perhaps even no mod 3. No mod 3 on the lower, no mods probably also favored towards Philippines. But if I were the Russian Federation, I would try to take the point. I would probably look for something like the Mixed Mod 1. It's a very straightforward vanilla map. Put Fafar in the hard turn, put Kitsunavi on the hidden, Tigrina on the no mod, and then it should work out. And actually, Bunray is going to be picking Mixed Mod too, so a little bit surprising in that regard that Team Philippines is going to go for the no mod, for the mixed mod rather. But then again, they have Roido for the hidden. This is also AR 8.3, so relatively low AR. They have Bunray probably for the hard, and I would assume then Marin or Kiels for the. Bunray for the. Bunray for the hard, and then Rusty for the no mod. I would assume it's quite hard to actually look who's going to be playing what. On the Russian Federation side, it's quite obvious. Fafara hard or Kitsunavi hidden, Tigrina no mod. I'd be surprised if it's any different. This map itself, I'm not sure if you know, but there's no hyper dashes. It's a completely hyper dash map free. Hyper dash free map. My apologies.
Haven't we tried that before? Like in one of the previous map pools, like last year? Pretty sure.
We have.
Or was that a different?
Yeah, there was the Nomad 4 in 2021 Grand Finals. That was also without any hyper dashes. But this one is round of 16. It's not an easy map at all, especially for the hidden players. AR 8.3. But then again, we have Kitsunavi and Roido, which are definitely up there for best hidden player in the world, especially Roido, Kitsunavi as well. Definitely in Europe, I would say. So those two can definitely manage. And there's Tikanita and Russia on the Nomad, which should also be expected of Vafara and Bunray. We also see we're going to see an early miss coming from Tikanita, but the map's about 800 combos, so missing in the first 40 should not matter all that much if you keep combo for the rest of the map. But
I mean, this can maybe even be bridged through accuracy at this point still, right? Maybe not, but it's not too big of a deficit. If the Philippines were to miss somewhere now, they're gonna be on a bigger score deficit there than Russia, so looking pretty good. We're intensifying it a little bit, and it seems that the normal players are struggling the most of all these people. Rusty coming in with a miss for the Philippines, and that means Russia is back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, Team Russia. All two players with 200 combo right now. As you said, you could overcome it with accuracy, but the thing is as well, there's no droplets in this map. I forgot to add that as well. You cannot lose accuracy except for missing, as far as I remember. So as you can see, there's all of it are just fruits, which all doesn't happen all that much. Your
commentator knowledge for coming from me. Vafara actually decided to miss there for Russia in the meantime. So Philippines back at Kitsune Ivy decided to do the same there. Some trades there for Vafara and Rusty too, but that means that Philippines, technically speaking, is in a better position right now. 60,000 points of difference is actually quite major at this point, considering we're 2/3 into the map.
Yeah, still 2 double assists on Bunray and Roydo. It's not going to be finding another break. Not going to be traded by Team Philippines. And the thing is as well, Russia has missed twice, but the hard can hidden players on Team Philippines have just such a solid showing. And this is why they probably picked Mixmod too, right? Banking on Bunray and Roydo to just completely destroy this Mixmod too. And what a solid performance coming from both of them. We're already unfortunately lost 8, so now finding another break there. But the damage has been done, I do believe. Ikanita has a really solid recovery, apart from that really early miss there. But we're going to be missing together with Fafar, going to be trading misses there. But Roydo, I mean, Roydo is the only FC left in the lobby. Once again, really solid performance coming from Roydo. Many misses at the end there, but yeah, it's just a Roydo show at this point. Another FC for Roydo. And look at those scores. I mean, Roydo versus Kitchen Ivy is a 150,000 point difference, and the Philippines won by about 180,000 points. So that's the majority of that is just on Roydo. Also, Bunray outperforming Fafar by about 80,000 points. Deaconita, really solid showing, except for that early miss and that really late miss. But nothing you could do against an FC from the hidden player on a AR 8.3 mixed mod. So really solid performance coming from Roydo. Russian Federation to pick next, but then again, we've seen every mod bracket, and they've not been able to convert a point on any mod bracket. So I'm not certain. The only thing I can think of now is probably going for the Comrades. This is the only skill set we haven't really seen, even though it's no mod, but the Comrades obviously a different mapping style. That could be a possibility, but it's backs against the wall. 6 match points for Team Philippines.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to try and throw as much things as they can to the Philippine side now, really. It seems that so far they're just better on hidden, better on hard work, better on double time, better on mixed mod. Go for a convert, indeed. That's really all that is left to test, and maybe that is something that the higher ranked players on the end of Philippines might not be as used to as they are. Then again, Bunray is also just a really solid convert player. Will that work out? We might not see it happen for Russia. We would love to see a point, obviously, but Philippines just it's very, very, very strong showing up here in this round of 16.
For certain, and I mean, I wouldn't say all on the back of Roydo, but most of the back on Roydo, right? 4 out of 5 is single miss on the XGOM map, and just really solid showing. And this is, I didn't expect it from the round of 16, but I would expect it from the quarterfinals and the semifinals that it's going to be the Philippines mostly relying on Roydo to do the things he does, and then the rest of them supporting him as much as they do. And it's already at this point, right? Roydo just, I mean, very solid showing. Also, round of 32 played 1 map NFC, so at this point in this CWC has only missed a single note, which is absolutely insane. Okay, not accounting for the qualifiers, right? But then again, and we are going to be seeing the Nomad 4, so Team Russia listening to us and going for the converts, and I really like this. I think this is, well, I mean, you've tried everything else, it didn't work, so if you throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, one has to stick, right? So I'm gonna hope for the Nomad 4. Mapped by Rectagon, obviously a convert, the only convert in the pool, with the new map pool changes. Also, Team Philippines had not an easy run on, well, not a good run on the Nomad 4 from last weekend. Only rested with the FC, multiple recent kills with Marin against Team Denmark. But I mean, Marin and Russia are not going to be playing this one. They're going to be swapped out for Bunray and Roydo.
Couple of changes there, but once more, solid core. No need to change too much to whatever they're doing right now. 5-0 score, and Russia is just got to try and kamikaze it, see if they can do this, see if they can't. Maybe they aren't able to do it as well as Philippines can. Converts are always a bit tricky, especially in tournament setting. But then again, it seems that at this point, you might not be quite too nervous anymore as Russia. Really, you're just trying anything at this point. So nerves shouldn't be too big of a factor. So the overshooting and undershooting that is quite typical of converts might not happen too much. Back to the wall, let's get it.
Definitely. This map has a lot of edge dashes, some really rough patterning left and right. So, I mean, just awkward like most converts are, and quite random as well. So we've seen quite a few players trip up on those multiple times. So it's quite easy to tank quite a lot of score very rapidly. That was also a very difficult pattern there, but every single player catching it is a good sign of some confidence on this Nomad 4.
And now we sit in silence and wait until one of these people will miss. They might just all FC it, really. Not the case here. Tignita is going to be the first to miss for Russia. But we haven't seen a full Team FC for Philippines either, which I just completely cursed as well. But because of that, we do get a level playing field once more.
Yeah, your powers are a match today, Conrad. You've cursed quite a few of these players, actually.
I come in and I break things.
Up. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. We see a couple of droplet misses on Castlegam and Roto, but I mean, it's completely tied between these two teams. The only difference in the accuracy between Kielzo and Tikanita, but I doubt if this is going to come down to the accuracy. We're already halfway this pick, still 2 FCs on each team, so really solid showing once again. Russia able to keep on par with Team Philippines, hoping for another breakdown like on the Hidden One, for example, where they were also able to keep on par for the majority of the map, but the ending just took them off guard. The ending is a little bit more difficult in this one as well, so we might see a repeat in that sense. The Castlegam is going to be fighting the first miss since then. Last quarter and 2 FCs versus 1.
That is quite big. So far, really the only difference was the singular droplet miss. I quickly calculated, looking at all the accuracies across the board. But seeing as Tikanita also dropped just now for Russia, it seems that Philippines is just going to be able to cruise through the ending once more. There's only a couple of seconds of map left, and wow, that was kind of a blow for Russia. Really, they didn't play weakly at all. This is just a really strong Philippines that they were matched up against.
Yeah, for certain. Getting into the last section of this map at the score is over 100,000 points per Ray. Double ST, but Kids and Ivy also bringing home an FC. Actually, never mind, I completely cursed that. Kids and Ivy missed at the end, my apologies. Bunray bringing home an FC, but yeah, there's nothing you could do against a team that just triple miss, having 3 misses at most per map. And it's just a really, really solid showing from Team Philippines. But I think the Russian Federation can take home quite a few positives as well, especially looking in the loser bracket. They are a very strong contender to at least win a couple of matches, I would say. Yeah, there's just simply nothing you can do against a team this strong, being the Philippines. And they are going to go into the quarterfinals to be facing off against Chile, which is seed 4. So seed 4 versus seed 5 next week in the winners brackets. Very spicy matchup. You do not want to miss that one. And the Russian Federation will be dropping down to the loser bracket after I mean, it's way closer than a 6-0, but it is a 6-0, sadly. Sweep from the Philippines. Once again, your winners, Roydo, Kielzo, Crowley, Bunray, Rusty, and Maurin gonna be winning again in the winners bracket, going into the quarterfinals winners bracket for next weekend.
So, eventually it didn't really come down to a huge challenge here for Philippines. Not a hurdle to overcome, and sadly, Russia just seemed to lack ever so slightly there. Every single map, though, they were consistent throughout, but just a little worse every single time. But they're definitely one of the stronger teams in the losers bracket, probably, considering the fact how they play today. If they're going to keep on practicing, keep their hopes up, there's still lots that can be done on their end as well. And that's going to do it for this match. Congratulations to Philippines, and well, play to Russia as well. Really, there's a lot of teams that probably didn't want to face Russia playing like this either at this stage.
For certain, definitely. That's definitely the case. Russia going to be facing off against Japan in the loser bracket, which is also a very spicy matchup. Seed 12 versus seed 15. So, yeah, Philippines looking at the matchup versus Chile, Russia against the matchup versus Japan. 2 very spicy matchups for next weekend. There's still 4 upcoming matches. We start off with the United States versus Finland in about 17 minutes, and then we have a small break for the last 3 loser bracket matches of this weekend: Denmark, Colombia, Brazil, UK, and Peru, Belgium, to end up the weekend at 19 UTC, and then obviously the map will showcase after that. So in about 17 minutes from now, we'll be back. Sarton, it was a pleasure casting again with you, as always.
It's been good fun, Quentin. Always, indeed.
Definitely. I realized that next time we probably should do a meetup in real life and cast together. Actually, it's only a 45-minute drive or something, so
you go ahead and come over,
right?
Yeah, sure thing. Okay. You could always do that. Let's see how much free time I have and whether I want your stinking face in my house. Nah, obviously, you're always welcome. But we could have fun with that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll be back in about 17 minutes with Elux. We'll be commentating the USA-Finland match, and then there's going to be a break. So for now, get yourself a snack or two, stretch out a little bit, get yourself some water, and be back. Okay? Promise me. Thank you. And we'll see you in 15 minutes. Take care.
Have a good one, everyone.
Suddenly the deepness can get through when you live your life.